Hello everybody, it is NAB 2025. I'm Photo Joseph and I'm here with part of the crew from Crater and with LucidLink. Now the Crater team just got back from a shoot in Italy. They had a production there where they used LucidLink, and we're going to learn all about that, about the production and how they used the LucidLink technology. But we're going to start off with a few introductions. Connor, why don't you tell everybody who you are and where they can find you?
Okay. Hey, as he said, I am Connor McCaskill. You can find me on the Connor McCaskill YouTube channel. I just do kind of basic gear reviews, a lot of the more beginner style stuff, but it's a lot of fun.
I am Terry Warfield, and you can also find me on YouTube and all the other social networks, Terry Warfield, and I do a lot of the same, a lot of product reviews, gear reviews, tutorials, motivational content, all that good stuff. So,
sounds good.
What about you?
I already introduced you. Go.
All right. My name is Brady Bissett. My channel as well as Brady Bissett. It's a lot of cinematography-based stuff. I'm a DP, so it's a lot of cinematography and a lot of lighting, content educational, and hopefully a fun time. Down the line.
My name is Gergana Berman, and I work at LucidLink as the Director of Growth Marketing. I have a background in post-production, so I'm really happy to hear how you guys LucidLink for your workflow.
Awesome, thank you. So we are going to hear about how they use the technology on this shoot, but first we need to hear about the production itself. What were they doing in Italy? What were they shooting? Why were they there? So Connor's going to take this one. Tell us a little bit about the production, how Crater was involved, and what you guys were actually doing there.
Yeah, so they flew us in for just a couple of days to kind of help out, kind of relieve the team. They're doing kind of a skeleton crew. The production, the feature film is called Vicarion. Yeah, and it's actually a pretty cool concept. I'm looking forward to seeing what they end up making with it. But we came in to kind of relieve them a little bit. So some of us did some camera opping. I myself was the best boy, which is the best job. I moved a lot of stands. It was really exciting. But yeah, Italy's a beautiful place. We were up near Florence area, a little bit south of there. And I don't know, it's one of my favorite places.
I would say going to Italy for sure, outside of the production stuff, was a dream come true. Always wanted to go to Italy. So very grateful for the opportunity, but I did a lot of the BTS filmmaking. We had a lot of cameras on there. Everybody had different jobs and different roles. So our job, anybody who was on BTS, is just to kind of capture that for the team, and also to give like a idea of what it looks like to be on a film set, like a real film set. So.
Brady, tell me about what you were doing on set.
It's an excellent question. So I do know. So I took a different approach. I kind of took hands off of the cinematography side and the lighting side, because the cinematographer, Adam, he's amazing. Love him to death. He did a great job on this, and the gaffer, Ben, was excellent job gaffing. So I didn't want to step on any of their toes, take their position, but I kind of went at it from a more of an educational approach of just pulling the curtain back, because film sets can be really overwhelming and daunting, especially if you're kind of starting in. So I took the approach of just asking the pros, like, what is it like relieving some of that stress? And I kind of took a hands-off behind-the-scenes approach this time around, which is really fun. But their whole project that they got going on, I think they're there for like 40 days roughly shooting this feature. And when we got in, their chemistry was so strong. Like they'd been a family, they'd been through the trenches already. So it's really fun to kind of drop in partway through their film and experience kind of what they're working with. Because like Connor said, it's kind of that smaller skeleton crew, maybe 10, 15 people. And it was really fun to just pop in on their production and see how they were really making things work there. But yeah, on my side of things, I was kind of sitting hands off for the first time and behind the scenes, and it felt kind of weird.
So obviously you guys showed up on set with a camera or two, I would imagine. You probably didn't go empty-handed. So talk to me about what gear you brought that you were shooting with. And I guess you're shooting for your own channels, behind the scenes, and to support, of course, the sponsor, one of the sponsors of the show. So tell me about what you were each individually shooting with while you were there.
So for myself, I went with a more small kit because I knew I wasn't going to really be messing up much in the camera department. So I went with the Lumix S9. I love the Lumix S9, even though it gets a little bit of shade. It's undeserved. It's undeserved. It's a wonderful camera. So I was using that.
He's not just saying that because I'm here.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I couldn't care if he was here, honestly. No, it's a really great camera. I used the 35mm prime, the 1.8. That's an amazing prime. It has some weird character for the lens. You wouldn't expect it to have character. And besides that, I had a little point-and-shoot film camera, which is super fun, and then my iPhone, which is honestly an underrated tool.
So I actually brought a Pixis that I ended up not using. That was a whole show. I brought a Lumix S1R Mark II, but I actually ended up using the Osmo Pocket. This little miniature camera right here. Yeah, it comes with the paper too. So one of the things about like when you're doing BTS of anything is obviously everybody else on the team has to use the footage. So it's one of the only small cameras out there that's actually decently good enough to, you can cut it in between footage with bigger cameras and stuff like that. So because we're also making content for our own channels, I was like, well, I wonder if I could actually do 2 or 3 days of behind the scenes video work with just this tiny pocket camera. And it actually worked out really good. So yeah, that's what I used. For the majority of everything was the Osmo Pocket.
What about you?
I feel like we need to talk about Tobin at some point in this talk, but we'll get around to that because I think it's a great segue into LucidLink, but we'll save that for a second. For me, I was using what was I using? FX3 I was shooting on. I was just in Norway for the whole month prior, or 3 weeks prior, so I had too much stuff. But when I was there in Italy, I was shooting a lot of BTS on FX3, 24-70. I just kind of keep it straight with that. It makes it easy for my YouTube workflow, and it always looks beautiful as well. But I'm kind of in the same boat with film as well. Connor had a great film camera that I kind of want to steal from him. I'm curious if does it upload straight to LucidLink with the film? Yeah, it just goes straight. Yeah. But that's kind of my setup that I was rocking with through the duration of this.
Well, why don't you tell us about Tobin's camera since he's not here? Because I know.
Totally lied.
Oh, he lied. Okay.
No, I lied. Can I take that back?
You may.
I was shooting on anamorphic, not the sphericals. I don't know. It wasn't a 2470. It was a Blazar Remus. I don't know why I felt like I had to add that. Go ahead.
No worries. So you were talking about another camera that's on set that's not being represented in this crew of 3. So I think you're leading into something that is going to bring in LucidLink quite nicely. So why don't you tell us about that camera, and then I'm going to hand the mic to LucidLink so we can hear about their technology before we understand how it was being used on set.
I don't know who thought it would be a good idea to use 12K cameras as a behind the scenes for a YouTube video, but it's Tobin, and in proper fashion, it looks stunning. He brought the Ursa 12K there, and then afterwards we were like, well, how are we going to transfer all of this footage? And then that, I guess, could be our segue into our friends LucidLink, because if you don't know, 12K footage is very heavy. It takes up a lot of storage, and it's not easy to just transfer over right away. So,
yeah, I'd say that's a lot of Ks. Go ahead.
But not only just the 12K, I mean, everybody had a ton of footage because we shot for 2.5 days, like nonstop all day. So even the little Osmo Pocket, I had like 80, 90 gigabytes of footage that has to be distributed and give it to other people. So now she can tell you all about it because I'm not going to steal the thunder.
Excellent. So now we're going to learn what LucidLink is, for those of you who don't know, and then this will start to piece together as to how they were involved. So please.
Thank you. Well, LucidLink is a storage collaboration platform that allows people from anywhere in the world to work with data that is any size. Projects that are on any platform. It can be Premiere projects, it can be After Effects or Pro Tools for podcasting, whatever you are using as a creator and your team, you can store it on the LucidLink file space and access it instantaneously from any point of the world as long as you have an internet connection. So it's giving you that centralized storage location that is instantly accessible. So you don't have to download the files before you can use them in your applications. You can stream them straight from the cloud. So built into our system is our accelerated upload, which you guys were experiencing during the production. Once files are uploaded into LucidLink, all you need to do is give access to the people that need to edit them, and that's your last step. You don't have to worry about this footage anymore.
So the whole point of using LucidLink there was so that you could all share footage amongst each other. And it wasn't just the 3 of you. How many of you were there from Crater? 11? Like 11 people, 11 okay. So that's a lot of people shooting footage that needs to all be shared amongst the other 10 people. So that's a lot. Okay, so you're using this as a repository to put all the footage so everybody could access it. You're accessing it from Italy. She talked about the accelerated upload. And I know that your internet connections were not very good in Italy, but I would imagine you at least got some of it. Maybe everything couldn't get up, you could get some of it. Who wants to talk about the experience of what it's like to get onto the platform and start uploading some of that footage?
I mean, it's really simple. I don't want to like overcomplicate it, but like it's really simple. Like there's really no learning curve to it. I mean, most of us fired it right up and we're able to just start uploading and managing the files. So yeah, I will give it like the word easy. I mean, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about it, but it was freaking easy. It was easy.
So once the footage is up there and everybody's mounted, I think it's just like a mounted shared drive that shows up on your desktop. Everybody can access it just like it's a drive plugged into their computer. That's awesome, makes it super easy to do. And then when they hit play, they put it on the timeline and they hit play. If the bandwidth isn't enough for it to actually stream in full 12K in real time, what happens? What is the experience at that point?
So there are a few ways you can get around that when you are using LucidLink. One, you can use proxies if you need to edit in real time. Well, that might be recommended no matter what storage you're using if you're working with 12K footage. You can also pre-cache the data. We have a feature that's called pinning. So if you right-click and click pin, it will load all of that footage that you selected into your local LucidLink cache, so you're not anymore relying so heavily on your internet connection, and you're going to have that smooth playback. If you don't do any of those things and you're trying to play back the 12K footage just natively, what you might see is a little bit of a stumble as it's playing back, and then as it caches the footage and you go back, it's going to be a smooth playback. So in any case, you need to cache the footage a little bit before you start using it. The smaller the footage is, the easier it is to cache it, even with a slow bandwidth. Yeah.
So this obviously sounds like a really easy solution for sharing footage. Before having LucidLink, what were you guys doing? Just like emailing each other links to a variety of different services around?
Can I mention other products? We were using, I have a remote editor, and we use like Google Drive to like transfer files. A total nightmare to use that as a service, because if you're uploading any sort of significant amount of files, it ends up having to zip it and things get all messy. It's such a nightmare. So having a clean, simple solution to be able to share files remotely is such a big deal for how we all work, because we all live in very different places, yet we still want to collaborate with each other. So yeah, I don't know. It's underrated that it just works well.
Yeah, using that drop.
You want it? No. All right. It's not a lot. It's so false. But even like you're saying with the zipping the files, there's so many times when like it zips it, it throws it into downloads, and then it's just like this never-ending trash bin that just lives on forever. And it drives me crazy. I still like, my downloads looks terrible. Never look at that. But having it act as like a local drive on your computer just saves so much stress, with especially a 10-camera project or whatever it is, with all different kinds of files and media, etc. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. You covered it.
You want it? Yeah.
You covered it, man.
So it sounds like basically having a massive NAS that is in the cloud that nobody has to have a centralized location for. It's not living in my studio or yours. It's a cloud-based NAS that everybody can access at high speed.
Because then also, I'd imagine as projects change, because say we all share and we each put it on our 2 terabyte SSD and then we run off or whatever, but then as something changes on his drive, whether he deletes or localizes or does whatever he does, now it's not like, oh, well, do this on your drive now or sync it up. I'd imagine it just keeps it all very organized and up to speed as changes are made.
Nice. Well, I think we've exhausted the tech side of how this works, and a lot of people watching this are probably stuck on this. Hold on a second, you all went to Italy to shoot for a few days, and I think people would like to hear a little bit about Italy, what it was like to go there. So who wants? Oh.
All right, everything in Italy is like, besides Rome, okay, there's parts of Rome you just don't want to go to, unless you love trash, the smell of pee and all that stuff. But the rest of it, like,
Sell it, baby, sell it.
No, but Florence was beautiful. Tuscany was absolutely beautiful. The food was great. The coffee was great. Well, the food was great, short of one thing, but we won't talk about that. But overall, the experience was, it was beautiful. It's probably one of the most beautiful places I've been. I definitely want to go back. And I'm sure they're probably sharing a lot of the same sentiments, so I'll let Connor share his same sentiments.
Italy's old, and that's awesome. Yeah, one of the things that, coming from the United States specifically, our old is 200 years, give or take. Their old is a lot more, and it's really cool. So it's really cool to go to, for instance, we went to Siena, and we got to see a lot of the beautiful architecture there, into Florence. I walked around Rome on my own, and it's like, oh, there's the Colosseum. That's pretty cool. I watched Gladiator once. That was fun. But also, in reality, it's the people, it's the culture, it's the food, it's the coffee. The coffee, fabulous. I bought an espresso machine as soon as I got home, made in Italy, of course. I'm not promoting that. Yeah, we need to talk about that. But yeah, industry standard, of course. So yeah, Italy it's a wonderful place. I've been there once before, and I'm trying to go back again before the year ends.
All right, what do you want to add to that?
They got good wine, man. You're in the Chianti region of Tuscany. I know, they got some great wine. Sorry, I don't mean to bring the wine into it. But aside from that, not often you get to shoot in a castle. That's pretty cool. Like, you got, like, I don't know if you saw any photos afterwards, but it's like this whole walkway of, like, Game of Thrones style castle that we were just shooting in for the entire day. The other day, there was a pond that was older than the Roman Empire, and there were, a tomb or somebody was buried in there. Cool story of history. Very just interesting experiences. I'm realizing I'm not doing a good job selling this, but
No, you created a lot of FOMO.
was it the pond?
Yeah,
It was the pond, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, but Italy has become one of my favorite places. I was there in September for 7 days as well, and it's like same region, Florence, Tuscany. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just calm and peaceful. Everybody's very nice, at least for the most part, until you get like 10 of us camera guys going into a cafe ordering like cappuccinos, and they don't speak any English, and then I think that the lines get a little fuzzy. But all in all, I think from our experience, it's a great time. Any Italy insight?
I'm sure you've been to Italy, but you hail from another. You were not on this trip. Neither was I. So, but no, you hail from another European country. What do you think? Should they all do their next production in your country?
Great question. I come from Bulgaria, and we have a lot of beautiful scenery and a great studio over there. So yeah, go ahead. Go to Bulgaria. We have multiple ponds.
We got ponds.
And castles.
And castles.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably.
All right, I think we're about ready to wrap this thing up. Is there any final closing words that anybody here wants to add to the thoughts of this production or working with LucidLink?
Don't use 12K, okay? But no, it was a very pleasant experience. Thank you to LucidLink for helping us get there, helping out with the production, helping us with the huge problem of storage and managing all that stuff. So thank you very much.
What he said.
And what he said.
What they said.
You know, let's get into it. No. Again, what he said. Thank you so much. Thank you to LucidLink. No, seriously. And thank you to you guys, whoever's on here listening to us talk about ponds and wine and dead bodies. And are we still rolling?
Yeah, I want to get back to talking about wine. Can we get back to that one?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you. We're doing this again tomorrow, I believe. Same-ish time. Tune in.